Who'd you listen to this week?
Well, man, I tell you,
podcast reviews.
Well, I've got to tell you, man. I've been listening to this show for probably 4 or 5 years, and it's Bob Ruff, Truth and Justice podcast, and it's true crime. They're probably in like season 8 or whatever. They always follow a different story.
True crime. So these are true crime stories.
Yeah, well, and his primarily focuses upon wrongful convictions.
Okay.
And they kind of talk about the mistakes that were made when this person. There's always a person that's like lamenting in prison. And man, he's probably gotten at least 3 people that he covered in a season-long episode exonerated. So, I mean, the Truth and Justice army out there of people that care.
He's disproving.
Yeah, like he takes deep dives. Like this particular season, they're talking about a girl in Houston, Texas, that was convicted of first-degree murder as a juvenile. And, I mean, man, there are so many holes in this case. Like, it is amazing how when the odds get stacked against you in court and how police can coerce, like, false confessions and stuff. I mean, it's amazing.
The strategy of questions.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's almost unwinnable.
It is. And I mean, and then once you're in there, man, it is so hard to get out.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at like some of the, and I'm not saying that all police work is like, but like some of the police work involved in this particular case, just so sloppy, man. Yeah. I mean, we enjoy listening to that every week. And then he has a follow up on Friday where he kind of goes over the episode. Like the episode releases Sunday nights.
This is
Sundays.
on Apple?
Apple, Stitcher, Spotify.
Okay.
It's on all of them.
Okay.
It's definitely one of the higher rated podcasts out there.
Okay, so is it just like us? We're talking about it, or is it?
Yeah. He talks about it, and then they interview a lot of the folks involved, be it the police officers
on the podcast.
Yes. And each episode, each week's around 30 minutes to an hour. And it'll draw you in, man.
On YouTube?
He follows. No, I've never tried to consume it on YouTube. I don't know that it's got a visual component to it.
Okay.
He's got a website where like you can go in and look at the crime scene photos.
Who is it?
What's
the guy's name?
The guy's name is Bob Ruff, and it's called Truth and Justice podcast.
Okay.
I mean, it's very well known in that he got his start. The guy was a fireman. In Michigan.
Okay.
And he got his start during the Adnan Syed case where they were doing that big...
Criminal covered that, too.
Yeah, when they were doing... when it was on the Serial podcast.
Or Serial, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he kind of started an offshoot, and it just took off, man. I mean, this guy takes deep dives, and I highly recommend it.
If you like that true crime stuff.
Yeah, well, and I mean, it's intimidating. It was for me when I first started listening to him because, like, he breaks this stuff down in, like, I mean, a season might be 25 episodes or more.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, it's kind of intimidating to look at it. You're like, well, you know, when do I jump into this?
You just got to realize, so in a season, how many cases is he working on? One. I
mean, he takes a deep dive, and he'll go out on scene, and I mean, he gets involved with like the wrongful conviction. Every state has an organization that fights for the wrongfully convicted and stuff like that, and he's heavily ingrained in that. And like I said, I mean, the guy's gotten results. I mean, he gets people out. I mean. So it's pretty cool. Ruff. Bob Ruff. Truth and Justice.
Truth and Justice.
Yes.
Okay.
What have you been listening to, man?
Well, this week I caught. I always go to bed listening to Rogan.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
always
agreed.
I pull somebody up. So at night, but whenever I go to sleep,
Lex Fridman is creeping in. He's creeping in on Rogan. Yeah. He's a good go to sleep podcast guy.
Is he?
Oh.
But that's what I usually throw in the ears before I close my eyes is Rogan. So I listen. I went back and listened to David Lee Roth on Rogan.
Ooh, man, I didn't ever listen to that one.
It was back in 2019, which seems like forever ago.
Oh, interesting, man. I never do that, and I should do that more often.
I went back and listened to that one, and then I tell you, the one that I looked forward to, it came out April 7th, was the Ben Askren. So, I don't know, call me cheesy, whatever. I like this. This is what I think is very interesting about, let's talk about it. The Ben Askren Jake Paul fight.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Mike Tyson even said it. He said, look at what this is doing to the sport of boxing.
Oh my God.
This is major money. It's keeping boxing on the map.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's just doing a lot. And so now you've got this legit fighter going to fight a YouTuber.
But neither one of them boxers.
Neither one of them. Well, no, Jake Paul's supposed to.
Yeah.
No, he's not supposed to be real good. But, but yeah, so he was on Logan Paul's podcast, which Logan Paul's had some good guests. Like he's had Dave Portnoy on there from Barstool.
Oh yeah.
He's had Mike Tyson on there. Yeah. He's had Ben Shapiro on there. Yeah. He's had a lot of. I really enjoy Logan Paul's podcast.
I've got to check that out, man. I'm not taking a deep dive in it.
It's about as high productive as I've seen, probably, as far as like the actual production of it.
Nice. Check it out.
And he's from Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then he went to OU. So I mean, you kind of got to root for the guy to an extent.
Yeah. Any relation to Jake Paul?
It's his brother.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because isn't he Cleveland? Well, of course.
They're both Cleveland. Yeah. Logan's the older brother. So Jake and Logan they're both YouTubers.
Yeah.
And they're like, whenever you say YouTubers, they're like probably within the top 10 in the world.
On YouTube.
Mm-hmm. So Logan is the older brother. He has a podcast called Impaulsive. Logan Impaulsive. Okay. And he brings in like Mike Tyson. You know, he brings in lots of guests. Some are good. Some are real good. Yeah. Some are okay.
Are they live in studio or are they Zooming or what are they doing?
No, they're in studio.
Okay.
Yep, they're in studio. And so Ben Askren goes on his show where he's fighting. Ben Askren is fighting his younger brother Jake.
Yeah.
So and Logan, talks to him about, hey man, I got to root against you. That's my baby brother, and but Ben Askren is just, you can tell he's a high level athlete.
Oh yeah, dude.
You can tell,
dude. I just don't think Paul's got any chance.
After watching Ben Askren, I'm rooting for Askren. I mean,
well, I am too, man. Yeah. I mean, listen. Jake Paul's entertaining.
Yeah.
But like you get to a certain point and it's like, oh man, come on, enough of this guy.
Yeah, you guys want to get into these celebrity things, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't say Jake Paul, he's trying to get to Conor. They want one of these daggone $70-80 million fights. John Jones came out and said that he would not fight Francis. Do you follow MMA at all?
Not much.
I follow it a good bit now.
Okay, you've gotten into it since Rogan and everything.
Yeah. I mean, no. If there's one thing I hate, it's a podcast with a bunch of fighters.
Yeah, I know it's not very interesting.
It's not very interesting to me.
Yeah.
But I like to watch the fights.
Oh yeah, well, and the thing I hate about what Jake Paul is doing, and I'm no purist because, man, believe me, I'm glued to the stories of these.
Yeah.
Like these like celebrity style fights.
Yeah.
But man, you think about those guys that have trained their whole life to be boxers and all this.
Well,
and I mean,
shit happens.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like, hey man, these other guys they figured out an angle. Mm-hmm.
But I really like to watch the UFC. I've got into this Sean O'Malley. John Jones is coming back. He's been off because of a steroid issue.
Okay.
The whole Conor and Khabib thing's pretty interesting.
Khabib,
the
guy.
Diaz brothers and stuff. But as far as like watching UFC right now, I'm getting more and more into it.
More and more. Well,
but John Jones said
that's definitely growing. I mean, that sport's
growing.
It's blowing up.
But John Jones said $50 million to fight Francis, Ngannou, whatever that guy's name is. I mean, think about $50 million. Whew.
I'll tell you, it's just going up.
I wonder what's the highest grossing boxing match ever?
Oh boy!
As far as like who got paid? I mean, how do they generate that?
Dude, I mean,
I know there's
pay-per-view. I mean, the tickets.
They're doing this through Thriller, but if you listen to this podcast, you get to see a lot about this fight. They talk a lot about it.
The sponsors and the ad revenue, and that kind of stuff. Is
I'd say this has changed Ben Askren's life just from the podcast.
It looks like Mayweather versus Pacquiao.
I was going to say Mayweather's got to be involved.
Pay-per-view revenues $410 million.
Jesus.
And then
$50 million is like dropping the bucket.
Listen to this. Number 2 is Mayweather versus McGregor, $396 million for pay-per-view revenue.
I wonder what Conor's cut of that was.
Let me just say this: Mayweather is in the top 4.
Yeah, I thought he had the top 5
Yeah, I mean, that guy is a machine when it comes to
pay-per-views.
He knows the game.
Yeah. Wonder what McGregor's cut of that 390-some million was.
I don't think this.
Because, you know, I mean, they've got a valid point. The fight doesn't happen without Dill.
No.
Hell no, it doesn't. And, I mean, you know, you get to a certain point where, I mean, if it's going to cost X amount for those guys to fight. I mean, because once the demand goes up, I mean, Connor's not going to come back and take less.
No, he's not going to go out there and fight you for 60,000.
No, you've raised his number now. I mean, you know.
What a monster.
Yeah.
What a monster.
It looks like McGregor's guaranteed paycheck was disclosed as $30 million.
$30 million.
Guaranteed.
So he got 10%.
Yep.
Of the cut.
Yeah, Mayweather did all right.
Yeah, would he get $100 million?
He was guaranteed $100 million, but it looks like they reportedly the earnings for Mayweather was $280 million, and McGregor got $130 million.
Huh. I'd say each team or whatever, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say that. I'd say their cut was probably more like 30, and
Probably. That was from Wikipedia. But.
Well, you think how many times Mayweather has done that, and McGregor
50.
for that matter, and you just think
50,
of the amount of money
50.
that gentleman has banked. You know, I mean,
Is that what he was, 50 and 0? Yeah. 50.
yeah. And I mean, I'm sure early on he wasn't making that much, but he did for a long time.
Yeah. And that's just what that Logan Paul's podcast. It's normal. You know, it's just normal
I'll have to
people
check
talking.
that out,
Yeah,
man.
check it out.
Is it funny or is
it? Oh,
it?
it can be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike Tyson took 4 grams or something. I don't know how that's weighed out of mushrooms.
Oh my God.
And did it, and then they put a pigeon on him, and it was. I mean, he like literally takes the mushroom trip right on the show.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now, how long is what's the average length?
He'll
of
go
this?
an hour to 2 hours, 3 hours.
Oh, some are longer than others.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, our review come back 100%.
Oh man, I
Yep.
saw that.
Yep.
They want it less.
They
than,
want it
less.
Less
you
and
know.
less.
Yep.
Which is that's
We're listening to you.
yeah, we're trying. We're
Yeah.
trying. So that's all. Logan Paul Impaulsive with Ben Askren, and yours was True Crime.
Yeah. It was Truth and Justice.
Truth and Justice. Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right, check us out, man. See.
Check it out, guys. See ya.